So this is my presentation about Raspberry Pi. So the first project we did was a lockbox, and the goal of this was to create a box that could lock, um, a lock and unlock, and it just locks by itself. But the goal is to create a box that can unlock if you press the right combination of buttons, and also when you get it right, there's a green LED that goes on. Or when you get it wrong, the red LED goes on, and it locks automatically. And then the second project was a Ferris wheel, which was just it's a Ferris wheel. It looks like a Ferris wheel and it spins. It's a Ferris wheel. And then for the lockbox, so each button has to have two wires, and one has to connect to a GPO, the GPO pin, so that the computer can recognize it in the code, and the other one is supposed to connect to the same column as the ground wire, because the ground wire goes to a pin with negative, And it also needs to be connected to a voltage wire for energy, so it can actually move. And for the lockbox, it was 3.3 voltage, but for the Ferris wheel, it's 5 voltage because it needs to be stronger. It's a different motor. For the lockbox, there was a hole. The lock was just a circle, and then over that was another circle with an oval hole, so that when you close it and it's unlocked, the motor lines up with the oval, and then it turns so that the motor is like perpendicular to the length of the oval. That's the lockbox. And then so the computer just recognized which button was which because of the GPIO pin you connect to. It checks the length of what you enter, and once you enter four numbers, it compares what you entered to what the password is, and you have to put the password in ahead of time. And that makes the motor spin, and then it unlocks, and then after 5 seconds it locks automatically, so you have to hold it down. For the Ferris wheel, it was almost identical because you have to do the whole button thing, but it had 2 buttons, and also they were supposed to make the motor spin in opposite directions like the Ferris wheel does, and I was able to do that by telling button 1 to make the motor spin to a certain point, and then telling button 2 to make it spin to a different point. And then for the Ferris wheel, there was a problem with the motor, and when I pressed the second button, it wouldn't stop moving. So I made it stop moving by just like writing again, like explicitly, it has to go to 0. So yeah, that's all. So okay. It's not. Oh, there it is. Okay. So when you press this wrong combination, it just doesn't do anything, and when you press the right one, okay, that's also sorry. Then it unlocks and you can open it, and then you have to close it and it automatically spins shut.
Yeah, and then you have 2 LEDs there. What are
yeah. So when I got it wrong, it flashed red, and then when I got it right, it flashed green. And then this is the Ferris wheel, and this is the first button, and when you press it, so that's the first button, and then the other button, it makes it go in the opposite direction.
Okay.
And that's all, I think. Yeah.
Okay, awesome. Does anyone have any questions for her? No. All right, let's give a round of applause.
Yeah, good job.